Good morning, weirdos. Well, here we are. Another beautiful day in paradise. Isn't it awesome? Well, it looks as though our mic is live and our camera is good. No glitchy, son of a bitchy. So, I feel better. I'm still tired, but then again, it's 5 in the morning. Who isn't tired, right? Raise your hands if you get up before 5 in the morning. Raise your hand if you enjoy getting up before 5 in the morning. Yeah, it's just a little more interesting when you get up early. The days, yeah, you get up late, the day's over, you know, and it drags into the night. Now that's okay. Being a night owl, that's great. I can do both. Being an insomniac, I usually have done both. Sometimes multiple times in a row, you know, morning, night. Never really getting a time to sleep. So let's see, Sunday night, Monday morning, I got a couple of hours sleep. And then yesterday I rolled around in bed in between watching Chinatown with Jack Nicholson, Faye Dunaway. I was kind of just rolling around in bed until breakfast happened. And then, spent the day with my wife, hanging out at home, doing a whole lot of nothing. Oh, pardon me. Yeah. So let's see. What have we got going on today? Anything? Yeah. Let's see, what is today? Today is February 6th. Is it the 6th? It's really the 6th. It's the 6th, February 6th. That means it is David's birthday today. Happy birthday, David. Have a wonderful day off with your family. I hope to see you this week sometime. Hang out, do a little jamming, a little record listening to. Wow. Oh yeah, so last night I made chili. I made a big old pot of chili. I don't know if y'all like chili. Texas chili, stand-up chili, big old thick, heavy-duty chili. I like chili with beans. I'm a chili bean kind of guy. I like it with big hunks of meat. I don't do ground beef. Ground beef is for burgers and meatloaf, that kind of shit. If you want to do a good stew or a good chili, you need to have a good meat, right? It's key. So what I do is I take a big steak or a pack of stew meat and cut it up into little tiny cubes. Now, if you take the stew meat, usually it comes in some different sized chunks. I take the bigger chunks and chop them up. I like little chunks of meat because the meat to bean ratio is really good. You get almost a whole spoonful of meat and beans every bite if you chop up the meat small enough. And then I will cook the meat for an hour on low simmer by itself with onions, and let it cook for a good hour until the meat is nice and tender. And then I'll spend another hour finishing the chili. Adding the tomatoes and the beans and the beans and the beans and the beans and a whole jalapeno. I like to take a whole jalapeno and give it a couple of scores on it, chuck it in, and let it just stay in there throughout the meat and the beans. And then right at the end, I'll pull it out before serving, because of course it's gonna probably go to my wife anyway. But yeah, big old jalapeno. And then I think the final touch, the key touch to my chili, is I'll take a cup of corn and I'll pan roast the corn and brown that corn and really get those flavors pulled out, and then add the corn to the chili and let it all kind of simmer for another 20 or 30 minutes so that it only takes about 2.5 hours to do chili, the way I do it. And you can use any kind of meat, of course. I just prefer either a good steak, a good meat, red meat, or a good turkey chili. Yeah, I haven't done a turkey chili in a long time. Gosh, not since the 80s. But yeah, good stuff. So I like chili with biscuits, homemade biscuits. And sometimes bread, but homemade biscuits are the way to go. Yeah. I've been trying to lay off the sugar a little bit lately, since sugar is cancer food, and we don't need to feed our enemies, right? So I want to thank Roy Pitluck from Sunday night at the open mic night. Roy Pitluck is a very cool gentleman with a very cool guitar and lyrical chops. Quite an interesting character, I might add. I like weirdos, and he seems right up my alley. He's just the kind of weirdo I like. And I want to thank Roy for becoming my 45th subscriber on YouTube. Yay! So listen, people, I've got 5 more subscribers to go. Just 5. Count on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 5 more subscribers to go. And from what I understand, then YouTube will let me go live on my phone from a mobile location. Won't that be fun? I've been a lot of places this last year and a half, and I've recorded a lot of it, but I really would like to bring you some of this stuff live. Yeah, for some reason, I have been getting out a lot. Well, my daughter is the reason, but for some reason, I've actually been getting out of my head and letting myself go out and do these things. Getting up, out of the blue and just deciding, all right, I'm just going to go out and do something. That's, yeah, my wife said, that's not like you. It's not like you to just get up and go out and do things like this. Well, you're right. You're right. And that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it. Okay, so that I think was the beginning of the last day of vitamins. I don't like to take vitamins all the time. Vitamins should not be an everyday thing. At some point, I'm 55 years old, almost 56. So at some point in your life, you have to start to recognize your own body chemistry and your body's needs nutritionally. And I think I've gotten into touch with my body enough to know when I need to give myself a boost of, vitamins or some kind of supplements that are going to help me get through something. And usually I only take them when I am getting sick or start feeling sick. And the minute I start feeling sick, I'll start, I'll hit a heavy dose, double up, hit a first double dose of vitamin C, echinacea, and turmeric. And then, I can add stuff to that, sometimes vitamin C, sometimes some iron. It just depends on how I feel, and if you recognize how you feel and can correspond that with something that you're lacking, it's an easy fix. You just, take a little something and you're good to go. Oh, that is great. All right, so this is tea. I'm on tea right now. I have coffee over there. I can smell it. So I'm going to have my tea this morning because it has turmeric and ginger in it, and they're both great anti-inflammatories, antioxidant type stuff, which is what my body needs. At least that's what I recognize my body's need. I'm having what is this, a Nature Baked? Yeah, Nature's Bakery. This is good stuff. This is an oat and apple bar, and it's not too sweet. It doesn't have that nasty, like processed, even though it's processed food, it doesn't have that nasty, over processed nastiness, you know what I mean? There's that taste that you get out of, especially the baked stuff. They're putting a lot of weird shit in baked goods now, and it really comes through strong. For me, I mean, sometimes I take a bite out of something that's got that over processed buns, and I have to hold my nose. I mean, it's not like it stinks, like it's rotten or nasty or something. It just has, God, it tastes like cardboard almost, like baked cardboard. I can't stand it. I mean, I'm at the point now to where I asked my wife last night, could you please buy us some hamburger bun pans, some little hot dog bun tins, some little bread pans, so I can start making our own, buns and breads and stuff. First of all, we get it and it lasts a couple of days before it just sits there. you know, and within 3 or 4 days, stuff starts going bad. The breads that they put out nowadays are like frozen and refrigerated on their way to the market, and you can't freeze breads and baked goods. It takes it crystallizes the right, the molecular structure of the food changes, right? And so you're eating a lot of sugars, more sugars than you should be. I'll have to look it up and try to explain it better. But for what I understand, refrigerating baked goods not good. They're baked not goods after that. So it's unfortunate that I go to Walmart and I bring home a loaf of bread and I can feel that it's still frozen inside, and that, you know, that's not good. That's no bueno. I usually get these breads and stuff because I assume that they're fresh baked. Don't assume anything, especially with big corporations who just want to, you know, stick their syringe in you and start sucking the money out, you know. Nope. Mm-mm. So there's this little saloon down the street that we go to occasionally. They make a great fish and chips. And they're supposed to be doing an open mic night, like Wednesdays. But I haven't really seen anything about it. I was hoping to find a Joshua Tree saloon ad here. No, I'm getting there. And if we could find one of those, let's see. No. It's not a group. It's just an ad. And that ad is always popping up until I want it. All right, well, let's go here. We'll go Joshua Tree Saloon. Joshua Tree Saloon. All right, they're closed. Of course they're closed. All right, they're looking for employment. If you're looking for employment, they always meet people there at the Joshua Tree Saloon Bar and Grill. Great place to work, right downtown. I'm sure they've got great perks there. Happy hour, open mic, Sunday from 1 to 4. Really? I thought it was the middle of the week. Sunday. Is it really Sundays only? 16-ounce T-bone steak. Wow. January 13th. What was January 13th? Was that a Sunday as well? Well, so there's that. Cheers. Oh, yeah. So let's see. When I don't feel too well, I usually lay off the old Mary Jane, which makes me feel worse because of the pain. I take away my pain reliever, and things don't really get better for a while. So what I'll do is I'll take some edibles, and I use these drops. They're Drops brand gummies. and they're not too strong. They're good, they're potent, but they're not too strong. They taste great. They're less filling because they're smaller than the average one. But good stuff. And it says 2 jellies, but they are scored so that each jelly can be divided into 5 pieces. And then I think we're looking at, I think she said 50 milligrams, so we're looking at 0.5 milligrams. There's a little math for you. And, so I'm used to 10 milligrams. So the 5 milligram chunks are kind of easier on the body, the brain. If I eat too many gummies, I just want to crawl in bed and pass out. So I just eat little nibbles. And then, of course, I'm a smoker. So even if I'm feeling horrible, I'm going to have the urge to smoke. So I'll eat my gummies, and then to help kind of activate the gummy, I'll take a nice little tiny little hit. Kind of weave it all together, right? So it looks like we're still live on the mic, which is cool, because I was kind of bummed out the other day when that show quit. Now, last Wednesday's show died before I put on the radio show, so we actually never heard it. So I will be putting on Captain Midnight tomorrow, and we will listen to some Captain Midnight, and I will probably tinker around in here while we're listening to it. So you can usually find a link to a better recording of the radio show we're listening to. And if not, I'll find something similar that you can listen to on YouTube, and just go to comments and follow a link. You can find a lot of links in my other comments from my other videos. And that way, kind of as you're watching the video, things will kind of pop up, I think, is how it works when you're watching, and I'll make a comment. So if you watch the video, follow any links that you get, because it's just more entertainment. So yeah, I watched not the first time I've seen it, but I watched Chinatown. Actually, I put it on because I was kind of hoping that it would put me to sleep, right? Because I've seen it before, and it is kind of a while it's a drama and it has a lot of action and suspense and mystery and intrigue and stuff, it's pretty much just a drama, a basic time travel drama. And it takes some great shots of older places in Los Angeles that were still there at the time. It's like those old streets in old LA and Hollywood, like those old neighborhoods where they filmed the Our Gang shorts, Little Rascals. Big tall sidewalk curbs, streets on every, or trees on every street. Yeah. Thank you. Mm. Well, yeah, it still looks like. So it looks like I can pretty much do anything on these shows because nobody's watching. So I am probably going to start doing some weird things. Normal for me, but weird for some of the audience, maybe. Yes, I just said the other day that I probably won't be singing in the mornings, but you never know. Of course, yesterday, I just picked up the guitar and blasted out Lucille perfectly, of course, because there was nobody sitting in front of me going, gosh, I'm going to watch everything you do. So I'll be practicing that big time, even though it's like the song that I know. It's like, that one right there, I've just played to death because it's so much fun. So yeah, I'll have to work on some other songs. Oh man, I got the sniffles. Oh yeah. The tea is about done, which means coffee is on its way. Whee! Mm. Mm, 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 mm. You know what? What kind of shirts have I been wearing lately? Mm-hmm. 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 What did I wear yesterday? What did I wear yesterday? I know I wore that. I hate mornings. And my rat's ass. I wore that a couple of times last week. Last week. 3 shows. Well, let's see. Today I'm wearing Pink Floyd. So we can write that one down. What was I wearing yesterday? Wow. Really? Is it that hard to remember what shirt I wore yesterday? Get out of here. Yeah, crazy if you can remember. I can't. I cannot remember what shirt I wore yesterday. Doesn't that just suck? Doesn't that just suck? Yeah, it does suck because I can't see what shirts I'm wearing. Oh, Rolling Stones. That's what I wore yesterday. Rolling Stones Lips. Hey. Now, I know I wore one shirt last week that wasn't a repeat. I think it was mornings and then rat's ass, but there was one day that I actually wore a shirt. I got to keep track of these things because I don't want to repeat shirts, Not this season anyway. And I think it'll be a new season when I can add a camera angle, change my view here a little bit. I think that's when we'll start a new season. A significant change should be the catalyst for a new season, right? Some kind of change. Joy, as long as it's not a change to me. I don't like change. Change and me don't get along unless it's jingling in my pocket, and then I usually don't have enough. Yeah. Got to watch some Barnaby Jones yesterday. Boy, that show's a really good show. I really like Barnaby Jones. I think it's time for dogs. I think it's dog time. I better go check. See if I got dogs ready to come out. Don't go anywhere. I might as well heat up my tea too. good morning, little guys. Good morning, little fellas. Good morning, Sam. Sam, my Sam Sham. Come here, Sam. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Ah, that's my Sam. Oh, I just love this. Sam, you're such the best guy. Oh, you give such good morning kisses. Oh, what a good guy. Oh, what a good guy. I love you, Sam. Mwah. Oh, I love my Sam. Ah, that's my boy. That's my buddy. That's my buddy boy. My buddy boy, Sam. Yeah. So look, it's like day 2 of raining. Rained all day yesterday. Kind of drizzled all day yesterday. Today, it's been raining all night. It picked up again last night, and it's been raining all night. The stray cats were clamoring to the neighbor's porch this morning before I got up, like at 2 or 3 in the morning. They sit on his porch and go wow, wow, and he comes out, gives them some food, hangs out with them. What a sweet old guy. So yeah, we've got cat food here. We don't have any cats, but we keep cat food here in case I hear the cats out there crying. I can put some food out in the bowl that's usually got food in it. He buys gourmet food over there, so they usually will only eat from his bowls. But I'll just buy a big bag of cat food, and if they're hungry enough, they're going to eat it. If not, there's plenty of rats around here outside to eat. So, and it's great because I see them every once in a while. I'll look and I'll see a cat just sitting there, just holding on to a big old rat, and that's why we have stray cats here. It would be nice to get them taken and fixed and brought back because this place wouldn't be the same with all of our cats. But in that respect, we don't need any more cats. And, the world needs to not overbreed animals, especially pets, because humans are dumb, stupid animals that don't need other animals, because usually nowadays the dumb, stupid humans will have a pet that makes them feel good, and then all of a sudden they have to change and get into an apartment or move in with mom and dad or relocate to a new town, and for some reason they can't take the dog with them and they have to rehome their dog. I don't do people like that. No. You take a dog or a pet, you take a friend for life. If it's anything other than a friend for life, you don't deserve to have a pet. Period. End of fucking story. All right? Right, Sam? You are my friend for life. I would sooner give up my life than yours. Okay? Well, it's just a dog. Well, fuck you if that's your way of thinking. It's just a dog. No, it's another life form. Okay? That deserves respect upon this planet. If you deserve respect, this animal deserves respect. And if you can't see that, you need to go take a fucking long walk off a short fucking planet and die horribly into the sun. Okay? I know, Sam. I know. We're not supposed to get tough and violent to people. But you take a pet for life. Anything other than that, you're a bad human. Period. I was a bad human at once. I had to give up a dog once. And to this day, it still breaks my heart. So no. This human wised up. If you can take on a pet and think, well, I'm going to have this pet until I can't take care of it anymore, well, then you're a bad human and you're not a pet lover. You're a pet user. You use them for your own gains, for your own pleasure, and then you just discard them because, I can't take care of this animal anymore. I'd rather be homeless than give up my family here. No fucking way. The term rehoming, I hate that term. It's just another nice way of saying you're giving up your pet. You're giving up your family. You're throwing somebody away. That's what you're saying. Rehoming? Making yourself feel better is what rehoming says. I'm going to make myself feel better by calling it rehoming. Bullshit. You're throwing the animal away. You're discarding the animal because it's not important enough to you for you to give a fucking shit. I'm sorry. I get carried away when it comes to animals. It's like little babies, right? The little baby can't do anything to protect itself. Anything that happens to that little baby is not that little baby's fault, right? And if you have to give up a baby, you shouldn't have babies, period. You know, we got enough babies on this planet. You want a baby, go adopt a baby. We have enough pets on this planet. You want a pet, go adopt a pet. Don't go to a breeder. Don't go to a breeder, you know. And don't just start pumping out kids. If you're not quite sure what to do, well, fucking go adopt fucking kids, you know. Jesus Christ, people. Come on. Well, anyway. I don't want to get too crazy, you know. But, I mean, I found this guy in the street, and there's no way that I would ever give him up. You know, even if somebody came along now and said, well, this is my dog, and I've got proof. And I was like, well, fuck you. You know, you don't just discard an animal, you know, and it comes sniveling around because it's going to make you feel better. Because that's all it is, you know. You make yourself feel better. Because that's what humans are good at. Taking care of themselves. Making themselves feel better. Right? Self-gratification. I don't hear another dog, do you? Hi, Sam. So what's going on? So you know that I'm talking to people out there in the world, right, Sam? Is that why you're looking at me funny? Because I keep talking, but there's nobody here to talk to? I'm talking to you. You know I'm not talking to you, huh? You're so smart, Sam. You're such a smart guy. Can I get a beso? Can I get a beso? Got me beso? Oh, you're the best kisser, Sam. You give the best besos. You give the best besos. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You know what? It's almost time for coffee, Sam. You know, to hell with it. It's time for coffee. Let's get some coffee, Sam. Let's get some coffee. I think it's time for a little bit of coffee. Arg! Yeah, I need it. Well, we better get a cup here. Joshua Tree Club. Mary brought her Christmas. Sam and the Sam. All right. This. I'm back, Sam. And I got the goods. I got the goods, buddy. Hey, buddy. I got the goods. You ready? Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. I got the goods. Hey, buddy. I got the bud. Hey, bud. You want to buy a watch? Hey, buddy. Want to buy a dog? Hey, buddy. Want to buy a watchdog? Come here, buddy. All right. See, I gotta have my legs crossed, either crossed like this or crossed one over the other because of my spine. If I sit straight for too long, my spine goes wonky. So I try to keep one or both legs crossed. Oh, look at that coffee. Oh, that's some good stuff right there, buddy. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. All right. So it's been about a week since I've had coffee. Oh yeah. That's good stuff. And yeah, that's good. Good stuff right there, buddy. So, Sam, how are you doing? How's things going in the Sam world? Huh? Little buddy boy. We can get you a bath today, finally? Get you a bath. It's raining and cold, which is a perfect day to give you a bath because the house is going to be really, really warm. It gets cold outside while we crank up the heat in here. So with the heat cranked up, it'll be nice and warm in here, and you can have a bath. Okay? You want a bath? You want to take a bath? You want to take a bath? You got the look in your eyes, huh? You want to take a bath? Yeah, I think Sam wants a bath. I know. You want a bath? Can I get that tub? Can I get that black tub and put you in it? You can lay down in it. Lay down in some hot soapy water and you can take a bath. What a good guy. So let's see. Say anything, do anything in the mornings. Oh, gosh, that's glorious. What? Do you hear something? Is Ollie awake? Is that Ollie? Well, we better go check it out. Come on. Come on. We don't want him clicking and clacking in there because he'll wake Mom. Okay, right back. Okay, boys, let's check. Yeah. Totally, man. Well, if I had any gumption, I'd put a microphone outside and record some of this rain because it is really nice. It is really coming down out there. Come on. All right, front load. Come on, front loading. Come on. He's such a monster. Such a monster. Oh, give me some hugs. This dog gives the best hugs. If you grab this dog and pull him into your neck and just hold him there and squeeze him, he just loves it. He just loves it. And he's such a good hugger because he'll hug you back. He will. He'll hug you back. He'll force his head right into you, up under your neck. He'll put his hands around you over your shoulder, and he'll grab you and come in for hugs and kisses. He's just such a good guy. Oh, he's such a good guy. Yep, this guy has come a long way from the little trash digger that we found in the street. Okay, licking. Okay, take it to one. Let me do this. No, this is for me. It's too hot for you. No, it's not too hot. Oh, that's good stuff, Sam. I know, but you can't drink any. You can, coffee kisses. That's as close as you can get. Yeah. So hopefully the weather will clear up enough this week that I can go out and change that pulley on the van there. And hopefully it's the right one. I had him check the belt to see if it was slotted or smooth, and the belt was slotted. So of course I got the slotted pulley. Now as long as it's an aftermarket, so it's not metal, it's a plastic composite crap. So as long as it goes on right, then it should be fine. I hate replacing metal with plastic. I really wanted to get a rebuild kit for this thing, which should be as easy as pressing a bearing in and out, right? And I could probably at some point find the correct bearing to press in and fix the old one. What's up, Sam? You want to go back to bed? All right, looks like Sam wants to go back to bed. You want to go with Natalie or with Mom? So yeah, I spend much of my free time around the house here, opening and closing doors for the dogs. My daughter stays up pretty late, as you know. She's in college. This is her final semester of college. She graduates and then moves on to the university. So she sleeps in. Her first class is at noon, twice a week, and then she's got one class after that, 1 day a week, from 6 to 9, 6:30 to 9:30. So she pulls a pretty late shift, and she tries to sleep in as late as possible so that she's only up a couple of hours before her class. She'll come home and she'll take a nap and then get up right before her class, have something to eat, go to class. She's my hero, big time. She's doing it. She's banging it out. She's making it happen. And she's doing it for her. She's not doing it for me. She's not doing it for Mom. She's doing it for her. We encourage. We try to guide, but we don't control. She got accepted to university right out of high school, and she decided that right to the university wasn't smart, and I fully agree. That she needed to build into the university so that by the time she got to the university, she had enough college chops that she could navigate that world. And she really navigated this college world that so well that I think she's going to do fine once she gets to university. She knows all the ins and outs, who to talk to, where to get the financial aid, where to get the help. Yeah, she tuition is free when you graduate in your local community. Had we moved to Colorado like I wanted to, we would have had to do it the year before she graduated high school in order to get her at least a year in order to get her free tuition. It's really important. School is really expensive, and I'll live in a ditch so that my daughter is eligible for financial aid, because no matter what I do, I'm not going to get to that point to where I can successfully pay for school. It's just no fucking way, not the way it is now. And she's going to do it all without loans, mainly because she's staying at home. If she were to have to go out and go to school and work and do all of that and pay rent, and there's no way she would graduate in a short enough time period. Financially, it would be a burden. So by her staying at home and us, eking out a living, it's easier for her. It's tough on us. It's a struggle, but it's so much easier on her. And the schoolwork is hard enough, but when you've got to worry about where you live and how you're going to live and work and just bills piling up, and then on top of that, you want to throw in loan payments as soon as you get out of school. That's just not. No. She should graduate in 2 years from the university with significant savings in her bank account, so that when she decides either to go continue her schooling or get out into the work field, she'll have enough, financial stability to make a good decision. Money to buy a car, money for a down payment on something, a house or an apartment or something. Yeah, I know that once she decides to get out into the workaday world, she'll be doing fine. I'm sure she'll be bringing home enough money to take care of herself and to make sure that she doesn't have any real big, huge worries. That that's going to come anyway. So if you can keep all of those at bay, something's going to get through, something's going to happen. So you just have to plan your best. I'm hearing dog noises, so I got to go check. Well, apparently everybody's sleeping good in the neighborhood. Wow. So, my plants are doing really good there. It's hard to get these plants to grow in a good spot. I've put up some grow lights up around my plants up there that come on for about 6 hours a day, I think. About 6 or 7 hours a day, which is, they get the indirect light. And I don't aim the lights directly at them. I aim them up so they just get the indirect light. It seems to work great. So I think I'm going to get some more of these lights and park them around the house in some plant areas, and hopefully bring some more green. I know my walls are green, but I really like plants, and I never get enough plants. Being out here in the desert, it's hard to get stuff to grow outside. And then inside this room that we're in, there used to be a window over here, and there used to be a window right here, and it was 3 windows on the sun side here. This room was so bright all of the time. with the curtains, this room was bright. And I had no wall space. This was all windows here, and it was just, they weren't great windows. They didn't open. And they weren't real big, but they took up all my wall space. The only wall space I had was just a little tiny bit in the corner. And then there was another window here, which meant that I was, like this room was all windows and a little tiny piece of wall in the corner. A little tiny corner wall is no place to do anything. So I covered up this window, and I covered up this window, and I covered up that window. I did it the right way. I left the window in, so from the outside it looks like there's a window. I just painted it white from the inside. And then I framed it in, drywalled it with kind of thin drywall, because I don't see it as being permanent. At some point we'll probably pop these windows out and replace them. So, nothing is permanent. But I needed wall space in here. I wanted to put things on my walls, and I had no walls, and way too much window, way too much light and sun in here. And now I have my cork board over here. Is really important to me. I've got a 5x8 in my bedroom. That's all of like a half a wall of cork. And I had started this in there, and I had pretty much the whole wall covered. A lot of excess stuff. But who's going to see it besides me, right? So I created a smaller cork board and decided to put my my photos in here, along with my framed stuff. I've pretty much got shit all over my walls in here. Ask me about what's on my walls. Go ahead. I dare you. I dare you. Because if you do, I'll tell you. Oh boy, did I miss coffee. Not like Miss Saigon. La 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 la, Miss Saigon. La la la. No. Good stuff. Good stuff. Big dog over there looking like she's cold. I'm gonna have to go into the foreground there and put a blanket on that little dog. She's a big dog. But I could put a blanket on her. I come in the foreground. In the foreground. I'm going down. Going down. All right, the dog is covered. She's a covered. Now she's gonna be nice and warm. She's gonna be nice and warm. Oh, no wedgies, no wedgies, no wedgies. Okay. Yeah. If I can just get out a little bit every week and network, meet some new people, find some new talent, that would be awesome. The more talent I get lined up, the easier it is going to be to get another show lined up, mainly a talent show. There's so much talent out here. I think that I'm probably going to get more views and hopefully subscriptions if I make content with other people, for other people, that they can then share to their platforms. I think that's probably going to help get me more views. At the same time, create content that's going to help people. Pardon me. Because every day that I go out, I see, even right down to Walmart, and the guy sitting out in front of Walmart with the back PT Cruiser popped open and his amplifier and guitar and stuff set out there, and he just puts on his track and he plays along with it, and he'll sit out there all day into the night. It'll be cold. He might be out there this weekend. It'll be butt ass cold, the wind blowing, snow, and this guy will be out there on his guitar, singing, playing. To what end, I do not know. I'm sure that he is trying to raise money for his cause and, power to the people. So yeah. Anyway, what have you guys been watching on TV? Anything good? You don't have to leave home anymore. Everything can be watched on TV. Very rarely do movies actually go to the theater now. The theater is like the dodo bird, It's yeah. It's like going extinct. Well, the theater in our town closed up. We had a couple of theaters out here, and they just closed up. They're gone. They're done. The freaking Albatross. They're over. Our drive-in theater is still around. It's family-owned and operated, and it is in 29 Palms. It is the Smith Ranch Drive-In Theater. And while it's not happening now during the crappy weather season, it usually comes back in early spring and is around all summer long. And occasionally, with good weather, they will have, middle of the winter movies. They have had trouble with their equipment, and they have been closed for months. The last thing I heard from them was that they had found the parts that they needed and the correct technicians, and they were going to get their projector up and running. And nowadays it's a digital projector, right? So from the studio, you get a large hard drive, okay? And that hard drive contains the movie and everything that goes with that movie. And basically you just jam that hard drive into a drawer, and that's it. And then it shoots up on it, projects it up onto a screen digitally. That's a huge stretch from what it was 100 years ago, not to mention 20 years ago. I mean, it seemed like only yesterday we were still using the big fat 35 millimeter big giant reels, and even those were, a multiple reel movie. I've got movies, the movies that I have on 16 millimeter film are 1 to 3 reel movies. That's about it. I don't have anything really, really huge, long. My reels are pretty big, 1,800 foot reels, I think, 2.5 reels, and a movie day here, right? We have a movie day where we watch a movie. Do I have somebody watching? Let me put my glasses on to see. Look, do we have a guest? No. And no. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, if you're here too, my gosh, you must be bored or lonely or got nothing else to do. That's why I'm here. Bored, lonely, got nothing else to do. And okay. So movies. What kind of movies have y'all been watching? Any good movies lately? I saw a movie with It was a Gary Busey movie. 1984 or something, right? About a guy, a convict. He gets out of prison for murder, goes back to his hometown. The sheriff don't want him there. The locals don't really give a shit about him too much. And there is there's a local biker gang headed by William Smith. And you'll know who I'm talking about if you're familiar with him. Been on everything from Chips to Cheers, for all I know. And he's got to take his town back with no help from the town. He gets a truck from a cellmate of his that he befriended and helped. And while his friend doesn't come back from Florida to help him, he does send a custom pickup truck loaded with kit-like arsenal. So it's one of those like the truck on Tango and Cash. All right, that's kind of that kind of thing. Rockets and machine guns mounted to it. Joystick controller for doing shit. Does a lot of high jumping. Good stuntman movie, really good stuntman movie. And Gary Busey is Gary Busey. I mean, he does a great part being that soft-spoken, humble country guy. Really nice and polite. Even to those who would, seek to do him harm, he's still a really nice, polite guy. But he takes his town back, and his daughter. They kill his wife. I mean, it's just one of those, vengeance movies. But really good. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. What else have I watched recently? Oh yeah, last night we watched Ready Player One. Steven Spielberg directed movie. I had never seen it. It's about 6 years old. When it first came out and I saw the trailer for it, I thought, wow, somebody's finally making an animated feature using a lot of the characters from movies and cartoons and TV and stuff from my past. And it was like just, the idea of watching a movie with, with Batman and Iron Giant and, the different vehicles and stuff. I was like, wow, that sounds cool. I can't wait to watch that. And of course I waited. As soon as a movie comes out and it gets too much hype, it goes to the back of the list. As soon as they start clamoring, this is going to be an Oscar winner. It's a must see. As soon as they say must see, it's a must don't. That's just the way I am. My rebellious nature goes against authority, which means if anybody, even a family or friend, comes up and says, dude, you got to check this out. You have to. Once somebody says that I have to do something, that sets a light in my head that says, don't do it. Don't even fucking think about doing it. Don't get on board with everybody else to go down that fucking river. You don't need to do that. Just because somebody says, dude, you gotta. Nope. That's when I turn shit off. And I have been like that for 30 years plus, as far as I can, I'm sure if I go back into my teen years, I can find times when people are saying, dude, you gotta, and then I just don't. That's why I never saw, what is it? that stupid fucking golf movie, right? With the gopher. All right. What the fuck is that movie called? I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? It's the Bill Murray movie with the stupid little gopher running around and the, yeah, that song. No, I did not watch that in the 80s, and I did not watch that in the 90s. I didn't even watch it in the 2010s, okay? I actually got the movie and did not watch it. And I think I've watched it once or twice in the last 10 years. And while I'm sure it was all the rage back in the 80s when it was made, it leaves, so much to be desired in watching it now. I mean, it's just a cheesy, kind of ridiculous goofball movie. Arrogant Bill Murray and arrogant Chevy Chase. And from what I understand, Bill Murray wasn't even in the movie. They added Bill Murray and the gopher and all of that bullshit because the movie was just a dud. And they thought by adding these other elements that it would make it a better movie. And it made it more appealing to the audience. But it wasn't a better movie. It wasn't. No. Iconic character. Bill Murray's, doofus character became iconic because of that. Yeah, talking out the side of his face. The more I learn about Bill Murray, the less I like him, and the harder it is to go back and watch stuff that I used to like from Bill Murray. Yeah. I don't really care for Bill Murray. I can go back and I can watch a few of his movies. But yes, it's sad because the more you know about an actor or an artist, the harder it is for you to enjoy the art. You can't separate the art from the artist. So Bill Murray is one of those people where I find it difficult to separate the man from the movies. Yeah, I mean, he gives absolutely no commitment to a project, and then shows up at the last minute, and does his stuff his way, and just won't take direction. And that's why he's the same in every movie, because he does his Bill Murray thing in every movie, and that's not acting. You're just a clown, basically. Clowns can hit the mark on occasion, but non-actors, it's like John Wayne movies. Most John Wayne movies are the same, and John Wayne just does the John Wayne thing. Okay. There's a lot of actors since then and before then who do the same thing. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he does the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing, even if he's being funny, or he's an action star, or it's some kind of drama. He's still doing Schwarzenegger. It's like seeing John Wayne did a movie, the three Godfathers, I believe is what it was called. And these three cowboys find a wagon that had been attacked, and the only survivor was a little baby, right? So now we got three men and a baby. And when they allow them to be themselves, but change the situation that they're in, change the scenario, take them over here and stick them in something uncomfortable, and then let them act their way out of that. Now that is a technique that they use for people who can't act, where they throw situations at them, surprise them with things, and then just they're not acting, they're just reacting. And there's a lot of actors out there now who are just reactionary. And then the actors who just rely upon their image, their persona, their themselves as the actor. And I just, that's okay if you've got a strong enough character, like it's okay for the Stallones and the Schwarzeneggers and the John Waynes and the other, it's like Harrison Ford is really close to being a John Wayne. He's only popped out of his shell on occasion to be someone else other than Harrison Ford. Regarding Henry, right? Is like one of the only ones I can think of where Harrison Ford, he's just playing a lesser Harrison Ford, really. But it's the only thing where he's really out of his own character. I mean, there's like 7 Days and 7 Nights. That was a really good movie, but he's just doing his shtick, and that's, I don't know, that's lazy acting as far as I'm concerned. If you're just going to be the same character in every movie, well, then watch one movie and then you got enough of that guy and you can move on, right? Why bother going to see another, Harrison Ford movie? He's just going to do that Harrison Ford thing, and he's so old now that he doesn't have any, it's like watching, what's it, a Clint Eastwood act in a movie now. I mean, like state of directing. Okay. We don't need a movie based around an old geese that probably wouldn't be able to do anything that he actually does in the movie in real life. I mean, come on. All right, gotta warm it up. Yeah, if you're going to be an old geese in a movie, I'm an old geezer, if you're going to be an old geese in a movie, do it something that's realistic, Don't make this old geese go out and beat people up. It's like getting one of them little skinny broads out there. Excuse my, I'm an old guy, so pardon my language. Like you get them skinny broads out there and they're throwing guys around like they can actually do that shit in real life, right? And it's just saying, yeah, sure, you can kick a guy in nuts and you can grab him and you can throw him over your shoulder and you can do but if you're going to go toe to toe with a guy who's twice, 2, 3, 4 times your size and your weight and muscle mass, then make it believable, make the lesser physical person the underdog by doing things that only they could do because they don't have the mass or the weight or the physicality to take on the big guy. Well, then it should be them using their head, and rather than get out there and try to scrap and go toe to toe and do all of these beat down moves on somebody that would just put their fist out like this and drop them to the ground like that, right? Why not make it believable, right? And have them fighting as the underdog, as the lesser physicality, that would seem more believable, let them get beat up and choked, but come through in the end, let them take that punishment that we all get because we can't handle what we're supposed to, right? But we figure it out, and we find an equalizer. We find a way to get the upper hand. You can't just expect us to believe that this 90-pound weakling of a person is going to take on 3 200-pound guys and be victorious. Not in no way, not in the traditional sense of fighting. No. No, I don't get it. I don't buy it. And when you start with these things that are so unbelievable from the out, then you're asking too much. You're asking me to suspend reality, suspend my own beliefs, and that's science fiction, and that's make-believe shit. And if you're gonna tell a story that's gonna be close to reality, then put some fucking reality in it. That whole Ready Player One thing, a lot of that physicality stuff was believable because it wasn't happening in the real world. And when it did happen in the real world, they got their punishment because they couldn't handle it in the real world. I mean, fucking A, man. If it's fantasy, well, let it fucking be fantasy, but don't try to bring it off as reality mixed with today's movies, I don't get it. I don't, we're asked to believe way too much, Take reality and set it aside because we're going to watch a movie. Now, while I want to escape my own reality, it can't just be fantasy for fantasy's sake. Come on. We might as well just put wings on and go buzz around and, suck nectar out of fucking flowers. Because that's fantasy. That ain't us. It's a fucking dream world. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. I enjoy movies. I enjoy fantasy. I enjoy escape. But, there's got to be something believable. You have to be able to make some kind of believable connection. And usually they just leave that up to the character. Well, you can connect with the character. Well, yeah, but the rest of the movie's fucking out there. How can we believe the character's going to be doing this? We can't believe any of this other shit. Right? So if you're going to suspend reality, do it. But don't expect us to believe it. Right? Period. Ready Player One was a good fantasy movie for fantasy's sake. It was a very dark and disturbing look at a possible future. Of course, their future happened in the, 20 or 30 years from now, right? 25 or 30 years from our present time. Yeah, it could get really, really dicey really, really quick, especially the way the planet is going right now. And we could get to, a world that it would seem similar to the one in the movie. I don't think that we're, at least the majority of us, are going to be allowed to exist in a digital world for fun. I think the most of us are just slaves to society, slaves to the big machine. If you let yourself. A lot of people will claim, well, I'm a slave to no man. But then you owe the bank, you owe the lenders, the car, the bills, the mortgage, You can't give up your job because of all of these responsibilities. Those are slave chains, is what they are. When they abolished slavery, they didn't. All they did was put a disguise on it and call it credit. We didn't have credit before, not real credit, before the end of slavery. Modern slavery came about so that we could, I mean, even back then when there were slaves, even the slave owners were slaves, all right, unto the big plan, the master plan, right? And so now we're still all slaves. I mean, there's just no getting around it, I mean, we're slaves to the bank, we're slaves to our jobs, we're slaves to society, we're screwed. And most of all, we're slaves to the capitalism, consumer-based capitalism. Just, buy. Why are we buying? Well, because we're told to buy. We're constantly being fed instructions on what to buy and how to buy and where to buy and when to buy. Every couple of months, we're told that we have to buy these things because that's the way it is. That's the way it's always going to be, no matter what. And then you get your holidays, and it's just ridiculous. All of these things that are created by this entity of greed that just wants us to be greedy, right? So that they can sell us crap that's going to wind up in the fucking landfill. Everything that they sell nowadays is just fodder for the landfill. Everything, every single fucking thing. All right. We used to have things that we would buy and they would last a long time. And then if something were to happen, we would take it to a repair shop and get it fixed, and it would last another 20, 30 years. Or we would repair it ourselves and it would last. Automobiles, electronics, appliances, tools, you name it. Everything used to have a lifespan that was indefinite. Okay. You never had to worry about throwing something away, unless it was completely broken and destroyed and squashed. Was it then no good to anybody? And then it could be recycled or parts could be used. And now you wreck a car and that car is useless, okay, because the parts are plastic. It's just a piece of garbage. You buy a car new and it's just a piece of garbage with a shelf life. How long before this piece of garbage is going to wind up in the landfill? That's it. It's just a matter of time, and a short amount of time, because if they make things to last, then we don't buy as often, we don't buy as much, and we don't want to upgrade, right? So yeah, buy. And it's horrible. It's hideous. I mean, I should have been able to buy, for this pulley, I should have been able to buy a repair kit, a rebuild kit. And it should have just been a bearing that I pressed the old one out of the pulley and I pressed the new one into the pulley. And that's all. And that right there probably would have cost me a couple of dollars. Whereas it costs them less than that bearing to make this, but they're going to charge me 8 times the price than they would charge me for just the bearing, right? So it's inconceivable how humanity has let this horrible thing called capitalism and greed take over our lives, And what are you going to do? You can't change anything, because as soon as you start clamoring for change, they look at you like you got 3 fucking heads. Why would you want to change this? This is perfect. My gosh. I don't know. I'm going to have to go take a whiz here. So with that, I will go take a whiz real quick, and I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Well, anyway, thank you for allowing me to take a little break there. All right. So, who out there has created a actual physical backup for their contact information? Remember back in the day when we used to carry around those little black books, right, with all of our phone numbers? Anybody still have any of those? Well, I have been trying to find a little black book for months, and have been very unsuccessful. Of course, I have only been doing actual physical local shopping. So I'm sure if I go on to some Amazon site or eBay or even Walmart online, I could probably find a little black book. And I think it's important, especially nowadays when everything is just so weird and everything changes. All of a sudden it's like alert, 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 put all your personal information on hold and don't let them in. And then all of a sudden it's, okay, it's okay to give up your information again. Now, when we were kids, right, we were taught, don't talk to strangers, don't take things from strangers, don't get car with strangers, don't give personal information, don't tell people where you live, don't give them your full name, don't let people have your whatever. And nowadays, I mean, we'll get on some weird device, right, and contact some fucking stranger to come pick us up and give them all of our personal information, right? And they get into a freaking car with them, right? Or they'll deliver us food. I mean, everything that we do nowadays goes completely contrary to everything that we were taught 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Why? To make it easier for the capitalists to sell us crap. I mean, if they don't know who we are, they don't know how we buy. If they can't keep track of what we buy, then they don't know what else that we're going to buy, right? So there you go. I mean, everything that has taken place in the last 20, 25 years is, twofold: to take all of our power away, right? To take all of our control, especially control over our own lives, and to sell us on the idea of buying anything that they sell us, right? I mean, we know that most of the crap that they tell us to bring into our homes is garbage, or it's harmful, right, to us or to the planet. It's disposable. Everything that is sold today is completely disposable, unless you get a few of those items that you can actually still take care of. Like this coffee cup here. I could have this coffee cup for 100 years if I take care of it, right? This microphone here. This microphone is from 1982, okay? It has been well taken care of. It goes into its box when it's not used, and it goes up on a shelf. And hi, baby. You got your blanket with you? You got your blanket with you? Huh? You bring your blanket? Why don't you come sit here? Sit here with me. And you can have your blanket. There you go. Hi. Hi, Bessie. Do you need to go outside? Do you want to go outside? Yeah? You want to go outside? Is that what you need? Okay. Let's let you go outside, okay? The doorman arises. Oh, that poor dog. She is so funny. She is the most funniest girl in the world. She is scared to death of weather. Any change in the weather at all. A cloud rolls by and she'll want to come inside. It's been raining off and on. This is the second day. She does not like the rain. She hates it. I'm surprised she just went out. It's raining out there. And she looked out and she looked up at me. And I asked, well, if you got to go pee, you're going to have to go out, honey. And she looked down, looked back up at me, and then she went out. And there she is. She can come in. She can't go to the door. Hi, baby. You all there? Okay. Here we go lay down. We'll put this here in case she decides to come lay over here. There you go. Okay. All right. Yep, she can let herself in if you leave the door unlatched, and then she can push her nose against the door and come in, but she can't close it. So I still got to get up. One of these days I'll put a doggy door on that one, and she can let herself in and out. Wow. Yeah, I'm surprised she went out. She does not like the rain. Usually if she'll get to the door, and if it even smells like there's moisture out there, she'll just turn around and walk away. She's like a camel with pee, right? She can just hold it. And I hate that. That's a bummer. Dogs should not have to hold it. They can get urine poisoning. They can have all kinds of health issues if you force your dogs to hold it all the time. Now, every once in a while, we leave for a day and we're gone for like 6, 8, 10 hours or something. And I don't like to allow the dogs outside while we're gone, because they'll just go out there and bark the whole freaking time. Bark, 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 bark. And I don't trust anybody, so I don't want to leave my dogs out when I'm not here to take care of them or to make sure they're safe. Anybody could throw rocks at them over the fence, and chuck poison. So no, I try not to allow my dogs to go outside when we're not home. But they're dogs. They will literally sleep for 8, 10, 12 hours. Whoosh. That's what they do. They go to sleep. They get in bed with my wife at 9, and they get under the covers and they go to sleep. They get up once or twice through the night, but for the most part, they're down. When they get up with me in the morning, they get into bed with my daughter Natalie, and they're in bed with her till noon. So that's what, from 9 to 12 the next day. I mean, that's like 15 hours. What a funny dog. She's pushing her blanket around with her nose. Oh, yeah. It would be so funny if she wasn't so big. She's picking it up, biting it, moving it around. What a good girl. What a funny dog. Oh, man, she's hilarious. What's up, baby girl? Round and around and around. Hey. Are you kidding me? Was that just another dog that I heard? Did I just hear more little toenails hit the floor? I'll be right back, people. You don't want to stay in there, huh? So apparently Samuel here does not want to stay in bed. Come on, want to sit here? Come on. I'll cover you up, buddy. Come on. Come on, get in bed. Come on, get in bed. You don't need to be a lap monkey right now. There you go. That's a good boy. See? That's all you want anyway. You just want your head covered up so you can be in the dark there. Is that better? All right. Funny little guys. So yeah, what's going on? Let's see. Let's make some kind of plan for this week, What are we doing? February. Today, rain. Yesterday, rain. Today. Over the weekend, I watched Rumble on the Mountain live from the Orpheum Theater in Flagstaff, Arizona, hosted by Ed Cabody of Ed Cabody and the Yodis. They are a Native American rock reggae band. Really, really cool group. They played out here at the college a few months back over the summer. And it was a really cool show, and they have a really good positive message about the Native American people and their struggles for the last couple of 100 years. We're going up on the 250th birthday of this fucked up nation, and we are still fucking over the original peoples of this land for our own greed, and we need to stop that. The Pinyon Plain Mine is a mining operation in Arizona. They operate in the on and around the Indian reservations, pulling uranium ore out of the ground. Why we need uranium when uranium is only good for harming people. And I don't want anyone to come and tell me about the good uses for uranium when we have already proven ourselves incapable of doing things for the good, when most of what we do with things are for the bad. Okay. So if you have a chance, when I get a chance, I will try to post a link to some of Ed Cabote's stuff. They were working on a documentary when they were here, and some of the documentary, I think the documentary aired at the Rumble on the Mountain on the screen during the show. So if you get a chance, go back and watch the Rumble on the Mountain. It was a great concert, lecture, informative show. You know, at one point they had over 30,000 mine claims in the Arizona area, northern Arizona. Let's see, the Grand Canyon area, and it's nothing more than greed. Okay, that keeps companies from giving a shit about the land, about the people, about the rights of the people and the land. Yeah, they're just Indians, ain't got no fucking rights. Tell them to stay on the reservation, right? And that's just wrong. That's just wrong. They pay landowners so that they can transport their precious uranium cargo, their toxic cargo, around the lands that the natives don't want them on. Yeah, we need to stop. We need to stop the uranium mining. We need to stop the abuse of the first people. It's just wrong. And if you don't think that there's anything wrong with it, then there's something wrong with you. If you can't, you know, if you can watch something so horrible as like a documentary on the first Wounded Knee, and not feel hatred, just outright hatred for those belief systems that did this to these people, you know, there's something wrong with you, really. You know, where you'll shit on people over here, and then you'll go, you know, vote and pray and give money over here. It's just wrong. It's wrong. It's like sitting down in front of a homeless, hungry, starving person and just sucking on a fucking cheeseburger, you know, and not tearing it in half and offering it to your fellow fucking human, right? It's that plain and simple, you know. If you don't see anything wrong with what's happening to the peoples here and around the world, there's something wrong with you, and it could very well be genetic. Okay. So yeah, let's get over yourselves, people. You know, this entitlement bullshit has got to fucking stop. This woke fucking bullshit, this canceled bullshit, you know, PC bullshit, you know. Things are what they are. You pretty them up and put a fucking bow on it, and that don't change the fact what it is, you know. Hate is hate. Plain and simple. You can disguise it as, you know, I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Yeah, but don't get me pissed off about shit, all right? Because I've been misunderstood and mistreated my entire life, just because I'm different, just because I look different. Okay. So, you know, I've seen it in the eyes of people who look down on me just because I was a kid with long hair. Okay. Or I was a kid of a hippie lifestyle, right? And it hasn't changed. I still go into, I dress like, this is my disguise. Okay. This keeps me from having to interact with the world when I do not want to. Nobody approaches me. Okay. No one, unless they have to, unless it's their job. No one approaches me first, unless I give them the signal. I smile to them. I say hello first. I wave. I engage them first. If I don't engage anyone, they stay the fuck away from me. And that's why I look like this. Okay. Because having been different since I was a little tiny kid, okay, I've learned that being different can be a double-edged sword, you know. So I use it to my advantage. It is my disguise. It's my shield. It's a barrier. It's a wall. But it's got a nice big friendly door. When I just look, hi, you know, then I can disarm people real quick. When I come up to them looking the way I do, and then set them at ease with a happy hello and a smile. All right. And then I can see it in their eyes when they change. Now, when I was a little kid, I never got that in people's eyes. I never got that change where I would, you know, they would say hello to me and I would say hello, or I would give them a look. I didn't have that look back then. My look was a scowl. My look was a don't fuck with me or I'll kick you in the fucking shin look. That's the look that I had when I was a kid. Because everybody always gave me the look. Oh, you poor dear. You know, I don't know how many times I got the, oh, you poor dear look. You know. And if you're not going to do anything but feel sorry for someone, then shut the fuck up. They don't need to hear, oh, you poor dear. Did that make you feel good saying that? Because it didn't make me feel good. All right. It made me feel about this fucking big. All right. You know, when you work with somebody and they constantly come around and try to tell you how to do your job and when to do your job and what and everything about your fucking job, when you've been doing the job longer than they've fucking been around, right? But all of a sudden their controlling nature is to make sure that they believe in their fucking fucked up world that if they don't say something, it just won't get done. So they have to say something no matter what. They have to say something. So then when it gets done, they feel like they made it happen. Well, it only happened because I said something. If I hadn't said anything, it wouldn't have fucking happened, right? So they're always saying something. They can't shut the fuck up. Which, you know, there's a person that that my wife and I have to associate with in a professional capacity. And she is constantly reminding us of how to do our jobs, which is belittling to say the least. And all it is a power trip. She is so controlling and so fucking power hungry that she has to say something every single fucking visit. Remember, they're going to stay for a longer time, so you have to do this. Remember to do that. Remember to do this. Remember to do that. Well, every time you say, remember to do this, you're making me out to be incompetent. Like I couldn't possibly remember what's written on my fucking calendar that I look at every day, right? I couldn't possibly remember something that I've been doing for years and I do every day, right? There's no way, right? Yet this person has to come along and their controlling nature, they have to make sure that they have to say something. Because if they don't, in their fucked up mind, it won't get done. Or they have to reward themselves by coming back later and say, yeah, if I hadn't said anything, boy, it's a good thing I reminded them, right? You know who you are. And if you ever watch this, go fuck yourself. Okay. You know, take your controlling nature and go control the people who want you to control them. Because I don't need it. I don't want it. Go fuck yourself. Okay. Just go fuck yourself. You know, if you can't trust people to do the job that they're hired for, then you have a problem with trust, or you got a problem with the people that you hire. And since you didn't hire me, you got no problem with me. You know, my problem is your controlling fucking nature, you know. And that's not the first time, and it probably won't be the last. But for me, it'll be the last, because I don't work for people anymore. I work with people, and I work because of people. I don't work for people. If you're paying me to do something, the money's going through you. It's not coming from you. It's going through you to me. Okay? You don't pay me. All right? I get paid because of what I have done that allows you to make the money that you're making. Okay? So you're making money off of me, but I'm making money off of the situation. Okay? Without me in the situation, you wouldn't be making your money. Okay? My money is earned because it's in the job description. I clean a house, I get paid X amount of dollars, period. It don't come from you, right? It comes from the person who's staying there. All right? They pay X amount of dollars. It gets split here. I take my cleaning money. You take your occupancy money. You know, that's it. I don't work for a person. I work for a job, a situation. The situation that I'm in is I clean, I get part of the money that is earned from that stay, period. You know, and that's the way it works. You know, now I'm earning this part because of these people. All right, but I'm not earning it from them. All right, I'm getting it because of these people, because of a repertoire or a rapport, a rapport that I have with someone. If there's no rapport, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be part of that situation, part of that little puzzle. You know, I'm just a piece of that puzzle. I clean, I get a portion of that. That's it. You know, it's you don't have to read any more into that. If I don't do my job well, you put somebody else in that spot, and then somebody else is getting that portion of that situation. That's it. That's all there is to it. You know, of course, if I'm in that situation, in that capacity, I'm there for one simple reason. I do it correctly. You know, without question, without fault. I do it correctly. And if that's the case, then fuck off and let me do what I do. You know, you do what you do. You tell me when and where, and then that's it. When, where, and how many. That's all I need to know from you. And then it goes on my calendar, and we show up, and it's dealt with. It's done. You know, by the time you're sending me a message to say, remember, you're going to do this, we're already done with it and on to something else. You know, and if you haven't informed me that this is supposed to be on my calendar, and you come along later and say, remember, no, I'm not remembering, because you never told me this. And if there's a problem with scheduling, it's on your end, because I never have a problem with scheduling. I never get a call that says, hey man, you fucked up. No, I didn't fuck up. You fucked up. If somebody checked in and checked out on my watch and I wasn't informed, that's not my fucking fault. You know? And if you want to scream and whine and snivel and piss and moan, well, you're not using the same calendar app that I'm using. So I've used mine for what, years, and I've never had a problem. You use this thing that you never look at, right? Because it's on your hidden away in some app, right? And it's supposed to be my responsibility? Hell no. You know, shit goes on my calendar physically, where I get up and I look at it. What's today? Oh, look, that's today. You know, I know exactly what's going on every day. And if I don't, it ain't my fault. It ain't my fucking fault. And I could say that honestly and without hesitation, that it ain't my fucking fault. If anybody's fault, it's your fault for not giving me the date. All you got to do is give me a date. In, out, how many fucking people. That's it. If you know, if there's any more than that, I'll get in touch with you. You know, if there's any more than that, don't come at me like, you know, like friggin' God, setting down freaking commandments. And when you screw up, don't get a fucking attitude with me and to try to guilt me into taking the blame for something that you did, because I don't play that. I don't do guilt. I don't do blame. What I do is I accept my faults and I accept responsibility when I fuck up. Hey, I fucked up. I'm sorry. Let me make amends to this. Other people fuck up and they immediately point their finger and say, you fucked up. Where's the responsibility in that? I mean, it happens every day. I mean, look what's happening. Turn on the news, pick up a newspaper, right? And see what's going on in the world right now. And it's everybody pointing their fucking fingers at each other, And if you point back, they'll throw a fucking bomb at you, right? Or they'll, fucking shoot you, Fucking idiots. We got idiots controlling the world. Y'all know that, right? We have elected nothing but fucking morons, greedy fucking assholes, men and women and other, to control the fucking world, right? And we've doomed ourselves. Because we're fucking lazy and we just want to pass the buck to somebody else. Let's let them deal with it. Yeah, we'll vote this guy into office. Let it be his fucking problem. And if he fucks up, well, then it's his fucking head, right? Well, look where that's gotten us. Look at the planet. Look around. Look at your town. Look at your neighborhood. See what things have gotten us. Oh, I got to warm this up. And if you can't see anything wrong with what's happening in the world right now, bing, 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 something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. Yeah, one thing I can't understand, I just never have been able to understand, is happy people. I'm not talking about, somebody laughing at a joke, or somebody smiling when they see a sunrise, or a baby laughing, and they're just, I'm talking about those people who are always smiling. They've always got that smile painted across their face, right? And they've got that blank, surprised expression across their face. And you see them driving down the street all the time. You see somebody driving around, they just got this big lithium pasted smile on their face. And is it drugs? Is it pharmaceuticals that's creating these happy, stupid people out there? No one on this planet should ever be allowed to be happy that fucking much. All right. If you feel like you have to be happy all the time, once again, there's something fucked up inside of you. Being human does not mean pleasure 24/7, 365. Okay. It doesn't mean that we have to be in a happy place every fucking second that we're on this planet. Okay. Because that's not possible. And if you think it's possible, you're a fucking nut job. If you spend your day being happy with this stupid grin plastered across your face and always upbeat, then there's something really fucking wrong with you and you're holding something back. Okay. And you're going to snap and you're going to take a whole bunch of fucking people with you, or you're going to destroy your fucking life, because one of these days it's all going to catch up to you. If you don't show the full gamut of emotions in yourself, right, then you're holding something back. Something is missing, and at some point it will catch up with you. Every day I feel every single one of my emotions to the fullest that they present themselves. Okay. And I was not always like this. I did not always feel every emotion that came through my head, my heart. I would suppress a lot. I would suppress a lot of anger and hatred and disgustedness with the world. And if someone wronged me, I would just suck it up and go about my day. And I don't do that anymore. No. If you step on my toe, I'm going to say, hey, you stepped on my toe. Please don't step on my fucking toe. You step on my toe again, I'm going to push you physically because you've now, second time, you've physically assaulted my toe. So I'm going to give you a push and say, hey, please don't step on my fucking toe, or I'm going to step on your fucking face. If they do it a third time, I will step on their face because I refuse to be ignored. All right. I refuse to just be thought of as decoration in somebody else's fucking world. Okay. Because that's not what we all are. We share this planet. We share this world. We're all one. We need to pay respect to those around us and courtesy. That's all it's about, courtesy, There are many times when I go out into the world and somebody outright disrespects me to my face. The biggest one I get is when you're driving and someone fucks you over in traffic, where they'll slam on their brakes, they'll pull out in front of you, they'll merge, right into you. They'll, rather than put on their brakes and slow down when somebody does that in front of them, they'll just jump into your lane, regardless of how it affects you and your time on the road, right? That's disrespectful. That, when they do that in the supermarket, all right, when somebody will step in front of me, reach across in front of me as I'm walking, all right, they get in front of me, reach across and make me stop. They could have gotten behind me and then just, done whatever they had to do. But they don't. They just reach straight across or walk right in front of me, push their way past me. And the only thing they fucking utter is sorry, right? Sorry. How many times do you go out in public every day and you hear someone say sorry? I hope it's not you. I hope you're not one. I hope you're not one of those individuals who spends their day pushing their way through the world saying sorry, 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 because that is a sad excuse for human actions. If you push past me in the supermarket and say sorry, I will follow you around the supermarket saying sorry, 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 or you'll hear me. You'll walk through the supermarket up and down the aisles and you'll hear me from 4 aisles away yelling sorry. And then I'll get behind you in the checkout line and I will stand behind you and say sorry. And then wonder after that experience how many more times they're going to use that phrase. How many more times are they going to use that excuse, that lie that they tell people every day? Sorry. Because they're not sorry. It's just a way that they can get away with being inconsiderate, discourteous. And they can get away with just being an outright asshole. All right. When a lady dragging 2 kids pushes her way through the store saying sorry, sorry, sorry to everyone she is discourteous to, it doesn't mean anything. It's not an apology. It's just a word. It's just a thing to, it's just an excuse. I mean, it's a sad thing to see somebody saying sorry through their whole fucking life. If you're that fucking sorry, make a goddamn fucking change so you don't have to apologize for every one of your actions, right? I mean, I've literally had someone pushed by me in the supermarket and then I can hear them throughout the store. Sorry, 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 which led me to start screaming sorry from across the. So I hear that lady, sorry, and then I'd yell sorry, and then I hear her again, sorry, and then I'd yell again, sorry, from across the supermarket. And that's the way I am now. I don't hold back. You fuck with me, and I'm going to let you know, hey, you fucked with me. You cut me off in traffic, and I'm going to give you the fucking bird. If you want to take it any further than that, you know, I got no problem at all getting out of my car, picking up something, and beating you till you got a detached retina. I got no problem with that anymore. All right, because people are so fucking discourteous. They need to be taught a lesson, and if I got to be the teacher of that fucking lesson, then I will. As old, decrepit, skinny, and used up as I am, I will pick up a club and beat the fuck out of somebody, right? Because they deserve it. And sorry is no excuse for anything. If you're going to do something that's going to make you say sorry, stop. Don't fucking do that thing. Do something else. Use your fucking head, not your sorry. Oh, it just disgusts me to no end. I don't use that word when I go out. I don't use that word at all. I will rarely apologize for my actions. Why? Because I think before I fucking act, so I don't have to apologize. All right? If I apologize for something, it's because I didn't think. Plain and simple. And I'll admit that. I didn't think. I wasn't thinking. I'm sorry. I should have thought that out better. I should not have said that. Right? But I know exactly, you know, when and why I've apologized. On any given day, you ask me, oh yeah, I apologized for that, but that was it. You know, you ask anybody else, what did you apologize for today? And they're gonna scratch their head for an hour and have to write out a fucking list. Well, I apologize, you know, and that's if they can remember, because they don't remember. They don't even know that they're saying sorry. All right, it's just an automatic reflex for being a stupid fucking human. That's it. That's all it is. You know, if you spend your days, listen to yourself. If you spend your days saying sorry, pull your head out of your fucking ass. Seriously. You know, I mean, come on. It's not 7 o'clock, is it? God, it's after 7. I've been doing this for 2 hours already. Jeez Louise. So yeah, we don't like the word sorry. Apologies are for little kids. All right. Apologies, I'm sorry, is for a little kid to learn respect for others. If you're an adult and you're having to say, I'm sorry, multiple times a day, you're still a little fucking kid. Go home. Go learn your fucking lessons again, because you didn't, you know. Bad form, people. Come on, get your heads out of your fucking asses. They're for thinking, okay, not for sitting on. Fucking idiots. Oh. You think I enjoy this? You know, you think I enjoy having to talk about my fellow humans like they're just fucking morons? No. As far as I'm concerned, right now, I should be surrounded by very highly intelligent individuals capable of logic and reasoning. And instead, I'm surrounded by idiots looking at their fucking phones going, oh, look at this video. You know? If the first thing you're going to do to me when you see me is want to show me a fucking video, oh God, ugh. You know, normal conversation should not be two people sitting in a room looking at their phones going, oh, check this out. Oh yeah, check this out. That's not conversation, okay? That's ignorant fucking humans being lazy, all right? They can't get their heads out of their fucking asses, let alone their phones. That's not conversation, all right? That's polite stupidity. I don't do that. No. If you want to have a conversation, let's talk. If you need to look up a fact to back up what we're talking about, great. Break out your phone and let's find out those dates and those names, you know. But if you're going to use it to show me cat videos or some meme about a politician, take that phone, grease it up, stick it up your ass, because that's where it belongs, really. Intelligent conversation should not involve a device that's just going to foster stupidity, right? It came out. It was introduced as a smartphone because it was an intelligent device. It had applications that could be used to do many different things, right? And it was kind of on that way until social media popped up. And then, while that aspect of it was great and it meant more communication, more networking between humans, I thought, well, this is going to save humanity, right? We'll all be able to get on board. We'll be able to look at the same thing and, make informed decisions, right? And instead, it's just become this huge anchor on humanity that just keeps us bogged down in this consumer-driven capitalist nightmare, right? And I love to shop on Amazon, eBay. These are great things. I love to get on social media and say hi and see who's doing what, and why, and where. But humanity has a tendency to take things to the fucking extreme. And because humanity has become so extreme, everything that we do is just as far as we can fucking take it now. I mean, you go up in a plane and you think, wow, this is fucking great. I can be up in the air now and I'm flying, and it's like, okay, well, you can do that without a motor. No shit. Yeah, you can just jump off a mountain, right? And glide, right? Well, that's cool. All right. That is really bitching. You can do one of these, you can take it to a further extreme, right? Not only can you go up into a plane and jump out of a plane and then eventually save yourself with a parachute and go, wow, that was extreme, right? Now you can take that to an extreme, right? And take a balloon up into the freaking stratosphere and dive out and take a 30,000, foot fucking plunge to the earth, right? Like a falling stone, like a meteorite, right? So we have to take everything to the extreme, I mean, we don't just launch rockets and satellites and space stations into space. We launch freaking cars. We put cars into orbit because we have to take things to the extreme, right? And that's what humanity does. We take everything to the extreme. And there are those who take nothing to the extreme. They get up in the morning, they amen, they go about their day, they're everything's cool, everything's kosher. They try not to get involved in anything. They try not to interfere with the workings of the world. All they want to do is go about their little lives and not make a fuss and not cause a ripple, right? And then there are those out there who are all about the ripple. All they want to do is get on that board and ride that ripple. They just want to make ripples. They just want to create all this, chaos and controversy. And the whole gamut, the whole spectrum in between, right? And all of that is good. But when there's no focus, right? When so much free will has got us going in so many fucking different directions that we get so way off course that we don't know where we're going anymore. Where is humanity going? Back in the 70s, 80s, we had an idea of what humanity was going to look like. And you see a lot of extremes of that in the movies. Humanity is going to be a road warrior thing. We're going to be living in this utopian society. Anything in between, we'll be living in space. We'll be living in the inner earth. We'll be doing all of this stuff. But reality is that humans still have to live with humans. And the human factor, the free will factor, is the fly in the ointment, right? It's the thing screwing everything up. And there are some countries around the world who put a kibosh on free will, right? There are countries who don't want people to think too much for themselves. and they keep all the authority and the power, and they don't allow them to decide a lot of what happens to them, because then that gives them too much free will, and then all of a sudden people are running amok, right? And we've got so much muck running in this country and this world, and I'm not saying that we need to be, shackled down and told, this is what you got to do, but humans need to be taught from an earlier age, and they need to be taught better on how to give a shit, period, flat out. Give a shit about themselves, their neighbors, the planet, the animals, everything. They need to just give a shit. And if we're taught to care and to take care the first couple of years in school, and then taught how to live and exist with one another the next couple of years, and then along with that, learning the little lessons, that because it doesn't take a whole lot to learn how to read and write and spell and ABCs and 1 2 3s and all that shit. It doesn't take a whole lot to learn that. The things that take a whole lot to learn are the things that normally we would have learned in our homes, in our family value. Have that anymore. The kids spend most of the time at school, and when they're not in school, they're doing homework. When they're not doing their homework, they're on their phones or on some kind of screen time. And parents get literally minutes a day with their children anymore, unless they're homeschooled. And then if they're homeschooled, well, then they're kind of removed from the workings of society and the workaday world. And then they have to navigate that with lesser knowledge, right? Lesser abilities, and that's kind of a bummer, but you go to public school, and you kind of give your child over to that, and then the minutes that you get are trying to make sure that they didn't learn the wrong lessons, or the lessons that they did learn, they have to think differently, because it doesn't really work like that in the real world, honey. So, this is the way it is. I know the teachers want you to believe that this is the way it's happening, but that's the way it should work. But this is the way that it actually works. Now, we'd like it to work like that. Actually, we'd like it to work like this, but this is as close as we can come right now, because humanity's really dumb, and humanity's still really young, while our technology and our abilities to do something, and there's a small faction of humanity that is smart enough. Most of humanity overall is pretty dumb, pretty moronic, pretty backward. So we need to teach our children that there's more to life than just the little bits of crap that they're fed on a daily basis, and I literally get minutes with my daughter since she was a little girl, and I have to just stay, a strong positive influence, so that, and mom especially, so that when she looks, she sees by example that this is reality. This is what's going on. Yeah, this is all the stuff that I have to learn to be, a part of the world, because that's my role. But at the same time, you got to be able to think outside the box. Take everything with a grain of salt. Don't take wooden nickels unless they're the current form of currency. But use your head. Don't get used. Don't be a user, but don't get used. If you're going to use something, use your fucking head. If you got to work, use your head. There's a lot of people out there who don't have the head, who can go out there and do this work, use their body. I'm going to be physical because I ain't mental. There's a lot of those out there. Why? Because society produces those people. And we produce those people because those in power, it's easier to have ignorant people to control. you tell them you need to buy this stuff because it's going to make you happy. But in order to have that stuff, you're going to have to get it on credit because you don't have money to get all this stuff that's going to make you happy. And you got to pay that credit. So you got to get this fucking job over here, this job that you just hate, right? But you got to have this job because it pays enough money to take care of these things that you want, that they tell you that you want and that you need, right? But all you really need, you know, are the things that come naturally, you know. We don't need all of this crap. They convince us that we need this crap so that they can enslave us to pay for it, flat out. And once you decide that you don't need all of that crap, it releases you from slavery. All right. You have to then find a way to exist in the world as a non-slave, but it's possible. I think even on YouTube, if you're making your money on YouTube, you're not making a whole lot of money. And you're still a slave because now you're a slave to your base, your subscribers, your fan base. You're a slave to your sponsors. You're a slave to YouTube. You're a slave to whatever the entity is that you're a slave to. You know, you get so wrapped up in it that you can't escape. You know, I try to be a slave to my own emotions, my own hubris, my own wants and desires, not the things that are piped into me through social media and major media and politics and religion and all these things that they keep throwing at you to say, hey, this is what you need to make you happy. Hey, you need this, you need this, you need this. Well, if you're not happy, then you got to go over here and you got to give your life to these people because that's going to make you happy. I don't think we really need anything to make us happy other than being fulfilled within with what makes us happy. You know, we have to find something about ourselves that flips a little light on, that says, hey, this makes me feel good. You know, this answers those desires that I have. You know, then only then can we kind of throw off all the shackles of all that crap that we don't really need, right? And move forward and find that humanity within us. Because getting up every day and going to work so that you can pay bills, that's not humanity. That's slavery. Whether we were designed to be slaves or not, I do not think that's what we should be. Okay. And it's quite possible that we were designed, created, put on this planet for the sole purpose of, you know, scavenging this world for materials. You know, that could be it. You know, we were just put here as miners. We were put here as farmers. We were put here as excavators, you know, mainly to dig ore out of the planet, to make it easy to collect and distribute to whoever requires it. You know, I just think that, you know, if that's the case, that we were just designed, I think that we're more than that. And until we find our humanity, we're just going to be those miners, those farmers, those slaves, those people who manufacture things for other people to consume. And you know, when you go back 200 years ago, and we all did our own manufacturing, we did our own creating, our own making, our own cooking, our own hunting, our own farming, our own baking, everything we did for ourselves or our clan, group, family, village, town. Once we went beyond that and started worrying about, well, you know, I've got extra, and rather than just give it away to my neighbor, I'm going to sell it, right? And not to my neighbor because he can't afford it. He'll have to go without because he can't afford what I have extra of, you know. And so I'm gonna sell it so I can make some more money. And then pretty soon that guy's got, you know, the monopoly, and he's the the guy in the mansion who owns everything and everybody, and he's got everything and everybody working for him, you know. And what does that do for everyone else? Well, it makes everybody else slaves to him, and that's it. And it makes him a slave to his wants, not his needs, but his wants. You know, I want to be the most powerful guy in the community. I've got all of this stuff that we can all share together and create a better world together. But I'm going to sit up here on high and dribble out little bits to everyone and keep them enslaved and keep the status quo so that I can have all these things that I want. Right? That just doesn't seem right to me. Well, sure, you're down on the bottom, so of course you can say you don't like the bottom. Well, yeah, I've been up top and I've been on the bottom and I've been in the middle. And I don't really think that humanity is any of that. I think that, you know, if we're all going to be treated equal, we all need to be equal. We all need to look at each other as equal. And when you involve money, nothing is ever going to be equal. There's never going to be any balance when one person can come along and say, nah, I changed my mind. Everybody's got to pay now. Nah, I changed my mind. I'm raising the rent. Nah, I changed my mind. Nobody gets a bonus. And that is not community. Okay. That's not community in the slightest. Okay. That's slavery and overlord shit. And, you know, I would love to see like a Star Trekian utopian society where we work for the sake of bettering humanity for humanity's sake, right? The individual is important to everyone, as is everyone. And, you know, we're all not cogs, teeth on we're not part of a machinery, but it's more of all part of the same life form. You know, if we look at planet Earth as a living thing, then humanity and life forms on the planet are kind of one living thing, right? So we're all connected. And if we're all connected, then we're all the same. You know, we breathe the same air, right? We drink the same water, we eat the same food, because it all comes from the planet. So therefore, everything that we are, everything that we do is exactly the same. There's no difference other than the physical appearance, right? And slight deviations in our DNA, all right? In our in that daisy chain of life that we all are. So I don't understand how, you know, you can look at someone and go, ugh, you know, I hate that person because they're just so different. Well, how different are they? Really, honestly. I mean, if you take away all the things that are different and you add up all the things that are the same, we're more alike than we are different. All right. The few things that make us different are the key talking points that the powers that be want us to hold on to, like life jackets, right? To keep us separated. That's it. That's all there is to it. There's nothing on this planet that should keep us separated except for that are implanted into us, right, by the powers that be. Because if they keep us bordered and blocked off and territorialized and separate with walls running across us, well, then it's real easy to lob bombs back and forth at each other. And it's real easy to get our neighbors to take up arms against each other, right? If they say it right, I'm going to want to pick up a gun and go shoot the guy next door because he thinks differently than I do. That's it, plain and simple. That's not humanity. That's capitalist greed. That's all there is to it. Capitalist greed, slavery, that kind of mentality has been going on this planet for thousands of years. And if it ever changes, that will doom society. That will be the downfall of civilization, because the powers that be will not allow that to happen. And if that does happen, they would rather pull the plug on humanity and take us back to ground zero and make us start over again, like they've done countless times. When we get too big for our britches as humanity, the few powers at the top are going to say, they're out of control. Wipe them all out. Leave a few factions of people here. Give them religion and tell them everybody just got raptured, right? And if you're good, it won't happen. It'll happen to you. And if you're bad, you got to stay on this planet. And then, of course, 1,000 years go by, and we've created a whole religion out of the experience that this whole thing caused. Even if it was just some guy flipping on a switch, right? The head dipshit on this planet flips on a switch and says, let's reset, and just wipes out most of the population. Well, that's a full reset right there. You keep a couple of groups of people alive, so a little few Adams and Eves around, and that's it. A couple of gardens of Eden, a couple of nice spots left on the planet for people to kind of grow. Within 1,000 years or so, they'll get big enough to move out into the population, into the areas that were depopulated, and I think it's happened before, and I think it's going to happen again. I think we're going to get, and it's coming, we're getting too big for our britches again. We're going to want more than they're willing to offer, right? The guys that are in charge right now, they want to be in charge, and they want to have all of the toys. They want to have all of the riches, right? And at some point, humanity is going to stand up and demand a reckoning. And when humanity does that as a whole, that's going to be the catalyst to reset the game. And like I said, I believe that it's been reset countless times, going back 100,000 years or more. And the more we look into history, the more we dig shit out of the earth, the more we can see, humanity is going further and further back than we thought. Okay. And you get places like the Smithsonian that go around, and as soon as they see history that goes contrary to what they want us to believe, they gobble it up, they hide it away, and we never see it. All right, because it goes against what they want us to know. I'm sure that the world wasn't created 5,000 years ago by somebody deciding, you know what, I'm lonely. There's an Earth, and in 7 days I'm going to create everything. And okay, now that's a neat parable, and you can learn a lot of lessons from the stories and a lot of these books. But they're lessons to be learned. It's not reality. Okay. Hundreds of years ago, even 100 years ago, we were learning religion in school and Sunday schools and in churches and stuff to teach the children to be better people, so that when they got to be adults, they had strong moral fiber, right? You didn't see a lot of adults going around doing a lot of the religious stuff that's going on nowadays. We left that to the kids, and when you got into college and university and stuff, you wanted your family to be religious, and you wanted your children to have religion, so that they had a strong core, family values, moral compass, right? But it wasn't necessarily that we had to believe these things as fact verbatim, because they were written as stories, as parables, as lessons back then. Now we take everything so seriously that, well, this is real, this is fact. I don't see religion as fact. It is not. There's nothing about religion that is fact. All right. Everything about religion is educational. All right. And you can take this book and you can teach a lesson this way, and you could teach it this way. You can teach it as good, and you could teach it as bad. It's what kind of spin you're going to put on it. All right. There's nothing bad in any of these books. All right. They're life lessons to be learned, to give us a sense of direction. Right. I can take this book and I can teach you that we need to do good in the world, or I can say, you know what, we need to be the sword of God, and we need to go out and conquer and destroy all of these people because they don't believe what we believe. Right. You just become a slave and a tool. Boom. Instantly, you're a slave and a tool. No, I've read the Bible. I've read books of other faith, and while my memory doesn't allow me to hold on to a lot of facts of things, I didn't come away from any of these things thinking, wow, now I understand the reality of what's going on. No, not once, not ever. Okay. What I got from these books was, these are great lessons to learn. All right. They teach you to be good, upstanding people, and have strong, core beliefs. But if you get any lessons out of these things that teach you that you need to go out and kill somebody because they disbelieve what you believe, then you learn the lessons wrong. That's not what those books were for. All right. Somebody screwed you up, man. Somebody took you down the wrong road. So now there goes my trash truck. Here goes Shadow. Brum, 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 brum. I don't know. I just like the sound of that. So you can hit the tree. Idiot. But you don't have to go this way. Morons. Maybe that's why I like hearing them, so I can call them morons. That's a judgment call right there. People make judgment calls all day long. That's what humanities do. They judge. They're judgmental. I mean, with me, you're either a moron or you're not. There's no in between. There's no, gray areas. You're either a fucking moron or you're not. And I see, like, most of the people on the planet, like, at least, it's come down. I mean, at first, a few years ago, I was like, it's got to be 99% of this planet are just complete fucking idiots. Ooh, stomach. And since I've been going out into the world and kind of been around social media and see how people act and react to different stimuli, I've kind of come to the assumption that it's probably less, like 95% of humanity, at least from what I see, have got to be complete morons. If you're doing something because that's what you were told to do, you're a moron. If you're doing something because that's what you're told to do, and you've stopped and thought about it and made a logical, informed decision that, yes, I will indeed do what they asked me to do or told me to do, then you're not a complete moron. All right. But there are so many people out in this world that just get up and do exactly what they're told. Never allow themselves to be themselves or feel emotion or have a response to some external stimuli, right? And they're just slaves. They're hiding from their potential, right? Like I said, no one should ever spend all of their time consumed by a job that they only do to stay alive or to survive or pay their huge gamut of bills, right? That's slavery. And, you know, even if you own your own business, why do you own that business? You own that business so that you can have these things that you're told that you can't live without, right? Yet we lived without them before, right? 30 years ago, 35 years ago, when I was a teenager, there was so much less to need that we had way more happiness, right? We had way more time. You know, when I was working as a teenager, yeah, I felt like a slave, but I felt like, you know, I was at a means to an end. You know, it's like, gosh, this is what I want to do in my life. And in order to get there, I need to have some money. So I'm going to take this job and I'm going to do this job so I can get to where now I've got my guitar or, you know, this book that I want or whatever it is that, you know, I'm going after. You know, and it was a means to an end. And now the end is endless. There's no end in sight. It's like you have to keep working because you're not just paying all of these bills and mortgage, but you have to constantly keep up and buy the newest, hippest, trendiest thing. Not just because we want to or we need to, but we have to. The crap that we bought is such crap that we need to upgrade. We need to get that new iPhone because this one's useless now. Everything has changed so much intentionally that we have to buy again and again and again. This phone that I'm using, I've been using it for 3, 4, 5 years, right? It's my wife's old phone. And why? Because it is still usable. It's not as great. It doesn't do as much as the newer phones, but it is still usable. It still serves a purpose. I can still make phone calls, text, apps, watch Netflix, all of that crap, right? It doesn't have all of the newest, fanciest camera and, you know, speed and all of that. Do I need that? Not really. At a point, I'm going to have it because they're going to make it, they will have made it impossible for me to use this any longer because things will have changed. I will, you know, it'll be just useless. It'll be a paperweight, you know. So, you know, I try to get as much as I can out of this disposable crap that they're constantly throwing at us, right? That's why I have so many items pre-90s, because back in the 80s, they were still making things to last. They don't do that anymore. They stopped doing that 10, 20 years ago. They stopped making things to last. Buy in large, buy. We used to be able to buy something, use it, and then if we wanted to upgrade to something better, we could always sell this old one and get a good price for it. Why? Because it still had lots of life in it. And if it ran out of life, it could be fixed and repaired and brought back to life easily. Not anymore. Nowadays, you pay hundreds of dollars for something that in a couple of years, you're going to have to pay hundreds of dollars more for it to replace it because it's just garbage. And then they make you buy these fucking warranties. Well, buy this warranty, and then the stuff lasts until the warranty is up. Or they say, okay, we'll buy a warranty on something. And then you go to use the warranty, and they say, well, no, it don't work for that. Or we don't have that particular model anymore. So you're going to have to pay to upgrade to this new model. You know, or we'll replace it, but it, you know, it's not as good as what you should have right now because everything is sped up. So this thing that you're buying now, it ain't as good. You know, even if it were still working, you wouldn't be able to use it anyway because it's obsolete. It's out of date. It can't be upgraded. It's done. Game over. You know, it's like, come on. You know, really? Are we really so dumb that they can pull that shit? Yeah, apparently we are. You know, let's make it so that stuff doesn't last anymore. Well, Americans won't go for that. You know, oh, we have to phase it, you know, in phases. We'll phase out the real stuff and phase in the fake stuff that you have to replace. All this landfill garbage, right? And that's what we get now. We get landfill garbage. Everything that we bring home from the store is just landfill. Everything, TVs, clothing, electronics. I mean, well, maybe in clothing, right? Um, that's probably the one thing that you can get nowadays that can still have a life beyond the use that we have for it, right? I have a shirt. I wear the shirt, you know, 100 times. And it's like, I'm tired of this shirt. I can sell it at a yard sale and still make money on it, right? You can't do that with anything else. You really can't. You have electronics in a couple of years, it just don't work anymore. It just don't. The CD player's gone. The Bluetooth crap don't work anymore. The buttons are falling off. You know, you pick it up and shake it, and it just fucking rattles inside because stuff is heated up and come out of their solder. You know, it's just garbage. And where does it wind up? On a table for 50 cents or $1 at the swap meet or a yard sale, or it just gets chucked into the trash, and it doesn't get taken to the you know, bring your electronics in and we'll recycle. It doesn't get thrown there, it just gets thrown into the fucking trash can. You know, and that's not right. And everything that we have out there. I mean, microwave ovens, right? How many microwave ovens do y'all go through, right? Every couple of years, you got to get a new microwave oven because the air fryer burned out or the microwave burned out, you know, or something doesn't work right anymore. You know, appliances. You know, you used to be able to buy a mix master and have that son of a bitch last, you know, hand it down generationally, right? You can't do that anymore. You get one of them ninja fucking things and it don't even work right, and it's fucking square and shit sticks to the side and the blades go dull, and it's all garbage. You know, it's all garbage, and you have to pick your garbage wisely to get the best out of the garbage, the most time out of the garbage, you know, the most pleasure out of this garbage before it just goes into the trash. Right? Sad. And humanity is so used to that, right? It's part of who we are now. You know, ooh, the newest item has come along. Let me get rid of this, throw this in the trash, and buy the new one. All right. Yeah, I got the new one. This new one was fun for a few months, but that one's better. I want that one. Well, I'm going to sell this one for $1 and spend $50 on this one over here. Or 150. And then, you know, we derive pleasure from getting all of this shit that is so temporary, right? It's kind of, you know, who we are. We are temporary. So the shit that we have should be temporary, right? No, the shit that we used to have was generational. We would pass heirlooms on from generation to generation to generation. We don't do that anymore. All right. Everything goes in the trash now. All right. How many things do you have in your home that were passed down from, you know, your great grandmother to you? How many tools do you have that were passed down, you know, from 100 years ago? I'll bet not many. I'll bet most of that crap got sold away in a yard sale because you were convinced that you needed to buy this new crap. And then you get this new crap and you're like, fuck, I wish I had Dad's old skill saw. That son of a bitch was still working, 50 years old. You know, nope, we get rid of it because we're convinced we need this new lightweight piece of plastic crap, right? Because it's cordless or whatever, you know, and that's sad. That is so sad that we'll just give up, you know, history and, you know, give up on tried and true, you know, for plastic and new. Give me a break. Well, that was a hit. Took a little one to pull that one out. So look, we're going on 3 hours. Doesn't feel like it. But then again, if I wasn't talking to you, I'd just be talking to myself. Well, this is great because I got to go take a leak again anyway. So let's see. Tomorrow, tune in for another day of old time radio, and we're going to try again to listen to Captain Midnight. Great stuff, Captain Midnight. And if you guys get a chance, look into some Willie Nelson stuff, and we'll talk about Willie Nelson. Yeah. Looks like the rain has eased up a little bit out there. So let's see. I want to thank you all for stopping by at some point, whoever you are. If you stop by either live or on the playlist, please leave a comment. Let me know who you are. At some point, I'm going to start giving crap away because I got so much crap here. I got to get rid of it. So records, tapes, 8-tracks, posters, T-shirts, stickers, coffee cups. There's so much here that I just need to share. So let me know who you are, because when I get to 100 subscribers, this stuff's going to start flying out of here. Flying out of here at 100, flying here at 500, 1,000, 10,000. As soon as we get subscribers, we're going to start giving shit away. The more subscribers I get, the more stuff I'm going to give away, and the more expensive stuff I'm going to give away. Stereos, cameras, all vintage crap. All right. Working vintage crap. So yeah, play along, join the fun, join the conversation. It's a different kind of show. So if you like hanging out and having real, honest, back and forth conversation, stop by sometime, say hello, leave a comment, poke the bear, get me started on something, ask me about something in the room. If anybody asks, I might play a song, but you got to participate. So yeah, thanks for coming by. I can't really say much more other than stop by again soon. And, don't hate the messenger. Not everybody likes to hear the truth. All right. And, truth is as truth does. You either take it or you run from it. And if you can take the truth and take what you need out of it and not kill me for just throwing it out there, I'm unapologetic in my beliefs, and I believe that humanity needs to just grow the fuck up, all right, and smarten up, because if you don't, we're doomed. All right, people. Love you. Take care. Have a great week, a great day. I will see you tomorrow. And peace. Goodbye, weirdos.